Good afternoon, Dargz channel. We're back. After like a 9-day long hiatus, I'm finally gonna start uploading on here again. I'm sorry for taking as long as I did. I was on a hiatus because I was celebrating my birthday and I didn't have my computer equipment with me. And then when I got home, I just wanted to relax for the weekend, so I also didn't upload there. So I am really sorry. I could have started uploading again soon, but I was kind of burnt out from how much I was doing last week. So I kind of need to just force myself back into that content mindset. But you know, I'm feeling a lot better today. We're getting this done. I love uploading for the Dargz channel. I'm really sorry for making you all wait as long as I did, but hopefully big breaks like that won't be too common. But I am kind of sad that we had to end a streak, even though 10 uploads in 10 days isn't that bad, honestly. Like, I am pretty proud of how much I did when I was doing it very frequently. I know today I said I wanted to talk about the time I trademarked Garden of Banban and the whole spiel that happened there, but if I'm being honest, I don't want to do all the research and reminiscing on what happened that day right now. So expect that tomorrow, maybe. It will come eventually. I promise that's going to come by this week at the very least. But if I'm just going to be honest with you, right now, I feel too lazy to go back and look at all the things that happened back when that was going on. So expect it soon, but I'm really sorry. I don't want to deliver it today. There's really no other reason. I'm sorry. I am the best content creator. I do everything that I promise I'll do, and I do exactly what the audience wants every single time. I am awesome. There is a topic that I did want to talk about, though, because allegedly the CEO of Mob Games is going to talk about details for the upcoming Poppy Playtime movie, which is something that was announced like 2 years ago, and then we haven't heard anything about it since, which is pretty funny, but also understandable. I get why they wouldn't be putting a lot of their resources into this movie, especially since Chapter 3 isn't even out yet. But it's got me in the mood to talk about the broader topic of indie horror game movies as a whole, because it seems like the 2020s are going to be the decade for that, and it's kind of crazy. So, as we all know, the FNAF movie came out in October of last year and blew everyone's expectations out of the water at the very least and how well it did. I haven't really talked that much about my personal opinions on that movie. I thought it was amazing. It was definitely worth the 8 years that we waited for it, especially since if we didn't wait that long, the movie would have likely been awful. So I'm happy with the product that we got, and I am really, really excited for where that universe is going to be going with its lore. Back in 2015, the reputation that video game movies had was definitely not the same that we have now. The last few years have been dropping banger after banger video game movies, but that hasn't been something all that common throughout the history of that genre. And in 2015, I still don't think there was a single good video game movie to come out of any sort of adaptation from that genre. It wasn't until very, very recently where we have been getting really good ones like the Mario movie, the Sonic movies, and of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now, getting a movie based on a video game at all seems like a pretty daunting task, but especially for an indie game, that was absolutely huge when it was announced. And it absolutely paid off as it became the highest grossing film that Blumhouse has ever produced, so that is really, really cool. But it seems to have given a lot of ideas to people in the same realm as Five Nights at Freddy's. Just in the past few years, we have gotten the announcements of a Poppy Playtime movie, a Bendy and the Ink Machine movie like last month, and the teasing of an Iron Lung movie. Now, obviously, Iron Lung isn't a mascot horror, but it is still a very popular indie horror game that is getting a full theatrical adaptation with Markiplier as the main actor. Which, if you were to go back 8 years, I think is a sentence that would sound absolutely absurd to anyone that you say to it. But now, the prospect seems so much more likely as these video game movies become more and more common. And with the announcement of the Bendy movie, it's starting to become something that I think about a lot more now. Are movies for these franchises, if they go viral enough, expected now? Is this the new trend? Is this going to be what brings mascot horror and just indie horror as a whole back into the limelight? It very well could be. Like, it might be a few years, but you never know. We could get the Garden of Banban movie for all we know. And that genuinely doesn't seem like it's out of the realm of possibility, which is a horrifying thing to think about. The Bendy movie in particular was something that was kind of teased directly to me all the way back in March of last year. I was on a charity stream with Aya at the time, and none other than the Meat Lead decided to show up and announce that he may or may not be working on a potential Bendy and the Ink Machine movie. So you could trace the source of this information all the way back to me directly, which is really bizarre to think about. Bendy is something that I was really into when I was a lot younger, but I actually never played the games myself, but I recently did play through both Ink Machine and Dark Revival back to back. And I might give my full thoughts on that in a different slop video at some time if that is something that people would be interested in. But to keep things brief, although I thought the actual gameplay of both the games were kinda meh, I did fall really in love with the characters and world like I did all those years ago. And seeing that adapted into a theatrical release seems absolutely mind-boggling, and I think it will be really, really cool. Bendy is an IP that I can't help but have respect for, as it seems to have grown up with the audience as they got older. Obviously being your more traditional mascot horror in the very beginning, but it kind of got away with it since it kind of made the entire format and started the trend on how mascot horror games are formatted. Like, obviously Poppy Playtime is very derivative of Bendy, and then Garden of Banban is very derivative of Poppy Playtime. So there's like 3 layers of separation there, but they all trace back to Bendy. More than I think they even trace back to FNAF, because Bendy is very divorced from what FNAF was. But ultimately, that doesn't really matter since all 3 of these franchises are still immensely popular, even if they all aren't at their absolute prime anymore. And I think a movie for at least the other 2 would do really, really good, especially a Bendy movie. Like, I really think that the world and characters of Bendy can really capture a target audience way outside of the games. But yeah, although the idea of lay epic rubber hose character becomes heckin' spooky might not be the most creative thing in the world, it's something that strangely has never really been explored more in the medium of movies. So I do think the Meatly has a lot of potential there, and I feel like this is something that they've wanted to do with the character for a really long time anyways, so I really hope that the Bendy movie is at least really good for the fans. And with the output of the Bendy content as of late, there's really no doubt in my mind that it's going to be. The Poppy Playtime movie, I'm a little bit more iffy on. I think it has the potential to be good if anything that we've seen of Chapter 3 is to go off of. And I think the direction of mob games has really shifted in the past year or so. So I am cautiously excited for that one, but I can certainly see how that could become a huge shit show. I can't say that I'm not intrigued though. Like, I really hope that it does good as well. I hope all of these movies do good. Like, Iron Lung, I think that one's going to do really well. Markiplier being the main character is going to be absolutely insane to see in a fucking movie theater. And I also just generally trust David Szymanski to make something very entertaining for the big screen. But I think we'll just have to see as these movies slowly release over time. But what do you think? Do you think that we're going to get a Garden of Banban movie in the next 10 years? Or do you think the ever downward trajectory of mascot horror is going to ultimately kill a lot of these projects? Or at the very least, make them not nearly as popular as they could have been if they released in their prime? I think that these movies could have the potential to bring the genre to heights even outside of what we reached back in 2022 and 2021. But only time will tell, and this genre certainly needs a lot more innovating if anything will go anywhere nearly as big as Poppy or Banban did. So once again, let me know what you think. The Dargz grind continues today. We're really, really doing it. I'll hopefully have another video out for you guys tomorrow because I really, really like making videos for this channel. I think it's really fun. And I'm excited to talk about more topics. I'm really anticipating on seeing you guys again soon. So thanks for watching. I've been Sir Dadadoo, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next Dargz video. Yeah, bye-bye.